Hey, welcome back to the show, everybody. This is an episode that I was not planning on recording, and it's one that I know at some point I would need to record, but I have been putting it off. And the reason why is because I don't want anybody to ever feel shame for an injury that they've gone through, or I didn't want to cause fear mongering, like, these are all these people's experiences with injury, and this is why you shouldn't, play past pain or be stupid on your instrument or whatever. Today's not that day, though. Sometimes, in order for people to get something, we have to be a little bit direct. And so this is a message that I have not prepared. It's literally coming off the cuff. I have no script. And it's going to be a little direct because there are a lot of people out there that I know who are listening to the show. You know, the show's still small enough right now that a good chunk of the people who are listening to it are people that I know personally that haven't gone through an injury yet, but are still musicians. And today I want to speak to you. So those of you who are currently going through injury, this is something that may not be as applicable to you in this moment of your lives. And I just want to make sure I gave that caveat at the beginning before I speak, because, and I include myself in this camp, a lot of us, before we go through an injury as a musician or as an athlete or any sort of occupational hazard that we have, we think we're invincible. Or if we don't think we're invincible, we at least think that we don't have to worry about or prioritize those things. That taking care of ourselves is not more important than the gig that we have coming up. Well, I'm here to tell you that that is false. Because the last thing that I want to do, or last thing I want to see, is for you to be in a position where you are questioning everything in your life, questioning even the will to live because of an injury that could have been prevented. Like I said, I don't want you to feel any guilt or shame because of this message. I'm just trying to light a fire in you. That if you haven't gone through an injury yet, that does not mean that you should not be prioritizing your health, your mental well-being, your mindset, how you view your personal growth, how you are taking care of like your personal habits. I'm talking about like your sleep, your nutrition, your social life. All of these things need to be prioritized. There's a C.S. Lewis quote. For those of you who don't know, C.S. Lewis was think Chronicles of Narnia guy. He's in my church. He's almost, even though he wasn't a member of our faith, we almost consider him to be a part of our faith just because he's quoted so much in our sermons. And there's a quote that he has, which incidentally was quoted in one of our devotionals at my university many, many years ago, where he says, "You can trust that a rope is strong as long as it's there just to tie a box." And I'm paraphrasing him. But imagine if that rope was the only thing preventing you from falling off a cliff. Would you trust it then? Do you trust that you are injury or not injury? Do you trust the fact that you are invincible from injury? That these things are just raw things, or things that are just for those people who can't get their crap together mentally? I'll be the first to say that before my injury, I was one of those people. And I feel like a lot of people my age, I'm about to turn 25, a lot of people my age are in that camp. You're not. You're not invincible. All these things that we talk about on here, from the pedagogical things to the physical things to the mental things, the mindset, whatever, they are for everyone, not just people who are currently going through an injury. And to those of you who are going through an injury, I want you to understand that your injury was still not your fault. There are a lot of things that go into it. Unless you're, that's a loaded subject that I don't need to get into today. But if you are going through an injury, there's a second part to my message today. You owe it to yourself to invest in your care. You owe it to yourself and your loved ones and your fellow musicians, whatever social situation you're in, to get the best care that you can possibly get. To invest in yourself, to take care of yourself. You are worth it. You are worth the care. That means prioritizing it. That means that sometimes your physical well-being, your mental well-being, your recovery, whatever you need to do to get healthy needs to come first at some times. And when I say first, I mean before your other musical work or whatever obligations. Find a way to make it work. Obviously, do your best to prioritize your family. Obviously, do your best to prioritize your spiritual well-being as well. I want to make sure I made that clear as well. But prioritize your recovery. Because if you don't, it'll snowball until it's something that you can't handle. Let me rephrase that. It'll snowball into an avalanche. And that goes for those of you who aren't going through an injury or haven't experienced one yet. Somehow, for some reason, I guess this is just human nature. Nothing becomes important to us until it's affected us. Until it's affected us personally. And I'll be brutally honest with you guys. Even a year into this, almost a year into doing this podcast, hearing health for me wasn't something I thought about, wasn't something I had prioritized. And I'm a trumpet player, for crying out loud. I played in a jazz band, a big band, and didn't prioritize my hearing health. Thankfully, it hasn't been negatively impacted quite yet. But until I had a guest on the show who had gone through a hearing injury, and I had this aha moment where I was like, oh shoot, I'm not mentally giving that much stock as I should for my own well-being and maybe even for the show. I don't know. I will tell you that I am planning on doing more hearing health things on the show because of that episode, because of that realization I came to in my own personal life. Your health and your well-being is worth it. It is worth the time, even if it means taking some time off of practicing, even if it means taking off some gigs, even if it means prioritizing the expenses that are required for your recovery over some other things in your life. Find a way to make it work. And there is a way to make it work. There's always a way to make it work because you are always, always worth it. Your worth does not only extend to the end of your instrument. It is infinite. You have infinite worth. It goes so far beyond being a musician. Yeah, it costs money to recover. Yeah, it takes away some beautiful playing opportunities. Yeah, it may take some time to implement preventative strategies into your life and just self-care strategies. Somehow that word is still stigmatized to this day, and I don't know why. But the reason why I am so fired up right now is because you are worth it. And I apologize for not saying that more on this show. You are worth the investment in yourself. Your family's worth that investment. Heck, even your career that you are so worried about losing is worth it. You will find a way to make it work. If you're a freelancer out there, my heart goes out to you. I know and I understand. I haven't experienced it, but I can understand the fear that goes into needing to take time off for a gig. But if you love that instrument so much, if you love that musical expression so much, you will find a way to recover and make it work afterwards. You'll figure it out. I am 100% confident that you have everything inside of you right now to be able to figure it out and make it work. Because you owe it to yourself. If you want to have a long career in music, if you want to have a long healthy relationship with music and the people around you, not just in music, but in life, you owe it to yourself to take care of your needs. And that doesn't come at the expense of others. Yeah, you may disappoint some people. We've had people on the show who have had to cancel tours in the middle of the tour because of injury. That really, really is hard. But I asked those people on the show if they would go back and do it differently, and they said no. So what does that tell you? I'm so fired up today because I don't want those of you who are listening, who have been listening faithfully for a while, that haven't gone through an injury, to not have to figure all this out by going through it. That's one of the biggest reasons why I do this show, is so that you don't have to experience an injury to learn these life lessons. And for those of you who have gone through an injury, again, I say no shame, no guilt. What happened to you was hard, but I affirm to you that you have everything inside of you right now to be able to get through it. But you don't have to get through it alone. Part of what's inside of you is the ability to ask for help, to seek out the best people who know how to help you through it. Don't give up, guys. Outlast this temporary pain. Outlast the frustration that comes with having to take off time practicing so you can take care of your well-being, injured or not. Outlast the anxiety that comes from having to take time off for your injury, for your recovery. I don't tell you guys this enough, but I think anybody who listens to this show is pretty incredible. You could be doing many other things right now. You could be doing a lot of different things right now. But you're listening to this show. And so if I've been a little bit direct and firm and fiery today, the reason why I do that is because I know you're worth it. You are enough. You have everything inside of you to make good things happen in your life, to help prevent injury, which takes an investment, to help overcome injury, which takes an investment. But my message today is that investment is 1 kajillion% worth it. It's hard for those of you who haven't gone through an injury to understand where I'm coming from. I understand that. But you have to trust me on this. The investment you make now in your health and your well-being, even if it means an hour or two or less in the practice room, even if it means taking off a few hours of practice a week, I promise you it'll be worth it, inside and outside the practice room. You will not regret it. I didn't say slack off. Somehow, and in my brain too, my brain does this every single day. I have not figured life out, guys. So everything I'm telling you, I'm telling to myself as well. But somehow we have equated taking time off with slacking off. Nope. And that is a hard distinction for a type A personality like this guy to make. But frame it in a way that this investment of time that you are making is going to bring a bigger and greater return than just practicing. Even if it's the most efficient practicing that you could possibly do in the practice room. Taking, Pomodoro technique to the next level, whatever practice techniques we're learning these days. I promise you that even with that, if you aren't taking care of yourself physically, mentally, spiritually, socially, and whatever, that investment will not take you as far and will eventually be a detriment to you. It will be an investment of diminishing returns. And life is too dang short to be investing in diminishing returns. If you're so worried about not being able to make it in your career if you take time off, that's why this show is so important for you. That's why learning about yourself, investing in yourself, doing whatever you have to do, going to therapy, whatever, is so important. That's when you need it most. Guys, I care about you so much. And there are people out there that I know and love who are going through very, very serious injuries because of whatever choices. I'm not trying to pin the blame on anything or anybody. But I promise you, if you take the care now, I can't promise that you won't get injured if you prioritize these things. Obviously, I can't do that. Life happens. Crap hits the fan. But it'll happen less if you prioritize your well-being. If all this woo-woo, rah-rah, whatever, motivational talk, if you feel like that's just like for people, like I said, who don't have their crap together, well, you're going to have crap. Life's going to fling crap in your face pretty soon. It's going to find a way. Life, as Jeff Goldblum said, life finds a way. So guys, I'm thinking about you. The last thing I want the last thing that I want is for this episode to cause any shame, any guilt, increased anxiety. Reach out to me. I mean, if you have nobody else, you at least have me. My email is in the show notes. You can send me a text. Schedule a discovery call with me through Musician Unchained. I'm just here to help, guys. I created all of this. I spend 40 plus hours a week on all of this so that those of you who may feel alone don't have to feel that way anymore. So keep on keeping on, guys. Keep moving forward. There is a greater version of you waiting on the other side of this obstacle. Whether that obstacle be an actual injury that you're going through now or the obstacle of finding a way to prioritize yourself so you don't go through an injury. It's all worth it, guys. You just have to believe me. Again, this message was more for people who haven't gone through an injury yet than those who have. But those of you who have, my heart goes out to you. You know you've got me in your corner. I'm only an email away. So keep trusting the process. Until next time. Hey, thanks for tuning into this episode of Trust the Process, the official podcast of Musician Unchained, the newest coaching program dedicated to helping musicians navigate and overcome injury. But before you go, I have a few quick ways you can stay connected and support our growing community. First of all, I'd love to hear from you. Shoot me a text with the link below and share your thoughts, questions, or just say hi. You can also check the show out on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We also would love to see you in our Facebook support group, Trust the Process Podcast Injured Musician Support Group. If you found value in today's episode, consider making a donation to support our mission of empowering musicians worldwide. Every contribution helps us create more content and resources for you, so visit link number 2 below to support the mission. If you decide to donate, I'll send you my newest resource, the Injured Musician Toolkit, which is an ebook designed to give you tools to help you get through your injury. Subscribe to our newsletter to get exclusive insights, tips, sneak previews of episodes, and announcements straight to your inbox. Act now and I will send you a free gift. So sign up at www.musicianunchained.com/newsletter. And if you or someone you know would like to go deeper with me in the topics of injury and mindset, head over back to musicianunchained.com and check out the Let's Hang tab. As always, I want to thank Daniel Baldwin, my audio engineer, and my sister Dana Lovell for her help with the promotional materials. There is no podcast without them. But before I go, I want to tell you how much I deeply appreciate your time and support. You are not alone on this journey. There are musicians and educators out there who need this resource, and we need to get it to them. Together, we are breaking the chain of old habits and thought patterns that don't serve us anymore, and unchaining the potential within ourselves to face each challenge with strength and resilience. So, as I always say, keep on keeping on and keep trusting the process. Until next time.